Hola, it's Beto here, your daily divinity coach, here for my monthly mailbag number 3. Yes, it's that time of the month again, my monthly mailbag number 3. The first Sunday of every month, I do my monthly mailbag where I take your pre-submitted questions and provide thoughtful responses. I'm going to go ahead and tag some folks so we can get an audience going. So if you've already heard me give an introduction, go ahead and feel free, and you're watching the recorded video, go ahead and feel free to fast forward a few minutes while we get an audience going. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and tag some friends, and we'll get an audience going soon here, okay? So again, just tagging some friends, and we'll get an audience going very soon here. Perfect. So tagging some friends, seeing who's active right now, and we'll go ahead and get going as soon as we have an audience. So again, just tagging some friends, and we'll go ahead and get started very soon. All right, just a few more friends we're going to tag, and then we'll go ahead and get started really soon here. Once we get a crowd going. So just seeing who's active right now, tagging some friends, and we'll go ahead and get started shortly. All right. Just a couple more friends we're going to tag. All right. I think that's good. So I'm sure they'll be joining soon. We'll get a crowd going real soon here, get an audience going, and we can begin my monthly mailbag number 3. It's Sunday, January 3rd. So the first Sunday of every month, we do my monthly mailbag, and this is the time where you submit your you send in your pre-submitted questions, and I provide thoughtful responses. So it looks like some people are already joining. All right, Frank, if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear, let me know that my audio is working fine. That would be greatly appreciated. Just want to make sure that the audio is good and that you can hear me. But again, while we're waiting on Frank to give the thumbs up, we're here for my monthly mailbag number 3. And again, this is an opportunity for those who read my posts, who watch my shows, my Sunday Weekly Revival shows, to submit questions, pre-submit questions. And I asked for the question to be pre-submitted. That way I can provide thoughtful responses versus having live questions come in. So if you weren't able to ask a question for this month's my monthly mailbag, feel free to go ahead and send one in for next my monthly mailbag. And you can do that. You can IM me or DM me with a question. You can also submit a question on my website. I got a website now, dailydivinitycoach.com. There's a form there you can fill out and send in your question. And of course, if you have my phone number, you can text me or even call me if you have a question. But again, that's the idea with my monthly mailbag is I take your pre-submitted questions and I provide thoughtful responses. If you're watching the recorded video, go ahead again and feel free to fast forward a few minutes. We're just giving some time for people to join so we have a nice audience before we get going with the content of today's show. I'm just going to go ahead and give a brief introduction of myself. Again, my name is Beto. I'm your daily divinity coach, and I talk about 3 main subjects or topics. I talk about the law of attraction, manifesting abundance. I talk about anti-aging, manifesting immortality, and I talk about liberation theology or manifesting justice. And I produce these bracelets here. One's blue, it reads manifest abundance. One's black, reads manifest immortality, and one is gray, reads manifest justice. And if you haven't received yours, please feel free to reach out if you haven't received your set of manifest bracelets. I give them away for free. I produce them myself. I give them away for free. If you live within the U.S., shipping's always free, and I extended until the end of March, so March 31st of 2021. If you live anywhere in Europe or North America, I will ship these out to you for free. So if you haven't received your manifest bracelets, please reach out. Also want to say that I am a Master of Divinity. I am a graduate of Harvard University Divinity School. I am a pluralist. I use pluralist language, right? Inclusive language like the divine or the great teacher. And I have people who watch my shows and read my posts from all faiths and no faith. Everybody gets something out of it. So that's my background, and just going to go ahead and we got more people joining. Awesome. So I want to make sure I give a shout out, like I do every episode on Facebook Live, to Emma Lou. She loves her shout out. So there it is. Shout out to Emma Lou. So yeah, we're going to go ahead now and get started with the content of the show. And the content is your questions. So I have questions here that were pre-submitted, and we're going to talk about these questions. I'm really excited. So the first question here is this. Beto, I don't know if I would wear your bracelets. Right? I just talked about my bracelets. Instead, can you send them to a family member or a friend of mine? Absolutely, I've done this. Some people, they like the idea of the bracelets, but you know, they don't wear bracelets or whatnot, or they just don't see themselves wearing the bracelets, but they have a family member or friend that they know would enjoy the bracelets and would wear them. And so absolutely, I've done this. I've had, you know, people who've asked for bracelets who has a family member or friend who doesn't live in the same state or nearby. And so they send in their address and their and the phone number, or excuse me, not the phone number, their name and address, and then I go ahead and ship them out directly to them. So by all means, if you have a friend or family member that you think would enjoy the bracelets, all I need is a name and an address, and I'll go ahead and ship those bracelets out to your family member or friend. So that was the first question of my monthly mailbag. Moving on to the second question here. And this is a very thoughtful question. It reads, Beto, is there ancient text that supports your celebration of reverse birthdays? Absolutely, and I'm going to recite some of that ancient text for you. So the first one that I want to recite reads like this, or actually reads like, it doesn't read like this, it reads this. For the divine created humans to be immortal. And made them to be an image of the divine's own eternity. So we were created in the image of the divine to be immortal, right? And part of immortality is anti-aging, right? So absolutely, there's ancient text that supports celebration of reverse birthdays. As a matter of fact, the reason why we age, right, and suffer the negative consequences of age, right, like, you know, pains and you know, all the wrinkles, all that negative consequences of aging is because we're told, we're actually told that we're supposed to age. If we were never told we were supposed to age, guess what? We wouldn't age. We actually speak our own aging into existence when well, not me anymore, but you know, when others say things like, and not you anymore, I hope, but when others say things like life is short, you're speaking that into existence is what you're doing, right? So you know, we got to remember that. So ancient text tells us not, you know, that we're immortal. It doesn't say life is short and you're going to die soon. No, you know, that you're meant to suffer the consequences of aging. No, that's not what negative consequences. No, that's not what it said. Another quote that I like, it reads this way. One day is with the divine as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. Let me read that again. One day is with the divine as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. What does this mean? It means time, right? Time is not straight. It's not straight linear, right? If 1,000 years is linear, and all of a sudden one day is reverse, guess what? Time can go forward, right? And time can go backwards. For the divine. If we're created in the image of the divine, guess what? Time can move forward for us, and time can move backwards, right? Birthdays, 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 birthdays in the traditional sense. Reverse birthday, reverse birthday, reverse birthday, reverse birthday, right? You can go back to your desired age, right? Now, having said that, you would need to tell yourself every day, right? Every day I'm getting younger, right? Every day I'm getting younger. That's the practice of the reverse birthday. And then when you get to that reverse birthday, then obviously you can have a celebration, and every day I get younger, every day I get younger. But yeah, absolutely, there's ancient text that supports the celebration of reverse birthdays. We know there's artists, right, like Prince and Mariah Carey, that stopped celebrating birthdays. Mariah Carey rebukes the idea of aging, right? Prince said, live in the moment, right? That's why I'm so inspired by artists. That's why if you watch my Sunday Weekly Revivals, you know that. I love talking about pop icons, and whether it's Bob Marley or Prince and Mariah Carey or I'm going to do this episode soon, Oprah Winfrey, Jose Feliciano, Selena, right? I've had all these pop icons, right, coming through my show. Well, not personally, but, examples of them. I love it because they inspire us, right? They inspire us to think differently, right? To act differently. Recently, there's a young man by the name of Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has 8 million followers on Instagram. I have nowhere near 8 million followers yet. But Ryan Garcia does. He has 8 million followers yet. He's only 22 years old. He's a professional boxer out of Victorville, California. And just yesterday, he won the WBC interim lightweight world title. And it was in Dallas. And after the competition, after he won, he said this. He said, "You are not who people tell you you are." He said, "You are who you choose to be." And I chose to be a champion tonight. I wasn't going to let nothing stop me, is what Ryan Garcia said. That's a lot of wisdom from a 22-year-old. And that's really what, when I talk about reverse birthdays and anti-aging, that's what I'm getting at. It's, Ryan Garcia, he's a warrior, right, in the boxing ring. I'm talking about being a warrior, right, a spiritual warrior in the world, right? I'm talking about having the courage to say, yes, I am created in the image of the divine to be immortal, right? Yes, one day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like one day, right? It's having that spiritual courage, right? To be who you choose to be. And if reverse birthdays is for you, you have that, you know that. You're a spiritual warrior, you have that courage. The last ancient text that I'm going to recite actually supports what Ryan Garcia said. And it was the great teacher. The great teacher said this. He said, "Destroy this temple in 3 days, and I will raise it up." Courage, right? The great teacher prophesied that if you kill me in 3 days, I'll be back. Because why? Because you can't kill me because I'm immortal, right? Courage, example, right? Of manifesting immortality. So yeah, absolutely. There's ancient text that supports your celebration, my celebration, and some of yours as well, of reverse birthday. So that's a great question. I really appreciated that one. Another fun question, or a fun question, I should say. Beto, will your mom appear as a guest for one of your future shows? So if you watch my shows in the past, you know that my mom, I talk about my mom, right? She, at 10 years old, I was 10 years old, so we're talking 4 decades now. She started tutoring me in the law of attraction. And so she's my law of attraction coach, and I have no other coach. As a matter of fact, when I do my scientific prayer, she's the one I call. We visualize together, we manifest together. We've been doing this since I was 10 years old. And but the question is, will your mom appear as a guest? So right now, as you know, it's COVID. I have not traveled out of the state of I live in Boston. I have not traveled out of the state of Massachusetts since March 13th of 2020, when they told us, when they advised us to stop traveling. My mom lives 3,000 miles away, and used to live in California where I grew up, but now resides, her and my dad retired, now reside in Las Vegas. So unfortunately, due to distance, right now I'm not going to have her on my show. I could do one of those split screens, but she's not very technologically savvy. So I'd rather do it with her in person when she is on a show. So there will come a day for sure, a Sunday where I'm in Las Vegas, and I'll do a show and I'll have her up here for sure. This is a great question. It was unexpected, and I love it. Terrific question. So the next question. Beto, why do you speak so much about immortality versus abundance? This is a terrific question. Very insightful. And the reason why I focus on immortality, because you can't have true abundance if you're worried about running out of time. If you have this feeling that you're running out of time, you can't have true abundance. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, I can help you manifest a new car or a new job or whatever, but if you have that feeling like you're running out of time, that life is short, all that negative stuff, right, that people speak into existence, it's just, you'll have abundance, but it's going to be for a short time, right? And I give this example, my father. He's bigger than life, 6'4", 250. He'd work 50, 60-hour weeks. He'd play basketball with his friends to stay in shape. Friday night healing services. He's a faith healer. He's just bigger than life. But then he hits 50, right? And all of a sudden he starts freaking out that he's running out of time. Where'd that come from? I don't know. But he's, and anyhow, he starts feeling like he's running out of time, and stops the faith healing on Friday nights. And it was all word of mouth. People would hear, and they just show up. It's incredible. And just starts focusing on saving for retirement. Anyhow, his abundance for the most part, he still had some abundance, but for the most part, it slowly started creeping out of his life. And then, he starts feeling the aches and pains of the negative consequences of aging and all that kind of stuff. And so anyhow, the reason I focus so much of my time on talking about immortality is because if I can get you to get your head around this idea that time is not finite, time is limitless, that you are limitless, you're not bound by time, life is long, then the rest of it becomes easy. Not only that, but at the end of the day, yes, we need clothes, we need shoes. I like my shoes. We need shoes, roof over our head, transportation, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, true abundance is having that peace that surpasses all understanding. And we know this because we know of millionaires, even billionaires, that have taken their own lives despite all the money they have, because they don't have that peace, right? They don't have that true abundance. So that's why I focus so much on immortality. So great question. Beto, is manifesting immortality about vanity? Again, a very insightful question. Let me read that again. Beto, is manifesting immortality about vanity? The truth is, it might be. It might be for Peter Thiel, right, and the other Silicon Valley billionaires that are investing millions of their own money, billions of other people's money in immortality tech, I call it, right, in trying to develop these biotech solutions to elongate the life cycle and hopefully manifest immortality for them and their friends, right? It's always for them and their friends. It's never for the general public, because general public can't afford their type of solution. They're very expensive. And plus they want to get money out of it because they put money in it, right? It's a commodity thing for them, right? But so for the folk it might be. But the reality, the answer is no. Manifesting immortality is not about vanity. Why? Because it's a spiritual thing, right? Peter Thiel and those guys, they got their own thing going on. But at the end of the day, it's not about vanity because it's a spiritual thing. It's about righteous intention. What do I mean by that? It's about the intention to want to please the divine, okay? It's about ushering in the fifth world per Hopi Maya prophecy, right? That divisions and hypermaterialism are going to end and we're going to live in harmony with each other in nature. It's about flipping the currency from man-made money. It's just man-made money, that's all it is, right? That the spiritually bankrupt, right? The lords of scarcity, the man-made money that they worship, and flipping that currency to the priceless currencies of time eternal and unconditional love. It's about the meek inheriting the earth, right? The meek, the opposite of vanity, right? The opposite of vanity. So no, manifesting immortality is not about vanity. Great question. Another question. Beto, do you watch back your recorded videos? The answer is no. No, I don't. I don't watch back my recorded videos. I don't watch them back. I don't edit them. Once the recording's done, I upload them for people to, watch again. If you watched it live, if you missed something or you want to go back and review something, or for people who couldn't watch the live show, they can watch the recorded videos. But as for myself, no, I don't watch them back. I don't edit them. I'm not all that fond about, my voice or how I sound or my accent or whatnot. So that also lends to it, I think. But no, I don't watch back my recorded videos. I just move on. So shortly after I finish, I'll upload the video, and then I'll move on and start thinking about the next show, and start preparing content and material for the next show or the next monthly mailbag, depending on the time. But a great question. I appreciate that. Next question. This question actually came last month, right at the end of the last monthly mailbag, and so I'm going to go ahead and answer it now. And the question is this: Beto, would you recommend the book, the book and movie, The Secret? So The Secret is a book, came out in 2006 and shortly followed by a movie, and is written by Rhonda Byrne. And it was touted as a law of attraction book. Here's my answer. Here's my thoughtful response, because I've had a month to think about this. If you are looking for a book or a movie, and you're looking for fourth world, right? Fourth world, so not the future, but like the past, really, or the current, but more the past than the future. If you're looking for fourth world coping strategies, The Secret, in my opinion, falls in line with other fine books by fine authors of that motivational self-help genre. And so this would include authors like Wallace Wattles, and I'm sure you've heard these names before, Dale Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Zig Ziglar, Anthony Robbins, and Rhonda Byrne. I would put her in that category of, people who provide, fine authors providing fine books in that motivational self-help genre to provide coping strategies for the fourth world. But if you're looking for a true law of attraction, if you're asking me for a true law of attraction, this is a true law of attraction book that I would recommend, that looks into the future and supports you in that way, no. But if you're looking for something to help you cope now, and you need some positive, motivation and some self-help stuff, some fourth world coping strategies, then I think along with Wattles and Carnegie and Hill and Peale and Ziegler and Robbins, if that's what you're looking for, I think she falls in line perfectly with that. But as a law of attraction book, it falls short. It is not Thoughts or Things by the Bohemian author Prentice Mulford. She doesn't address immortality. There's no mention of Hopi Maya prophecy, right? No mention of the fifth world that's emerging now. So it lacks that prophetic voice. It doesn't make the link between liberation theologies or social justice and the law of attraction or abundance. A very important link, so it falls short there. But yeah, if you're looking for fourth world coping strategies, I think any of those authors that I mentioned are fine authors that have written fine books. So moving on, next question. Beto, this is a good question. Beto, can you comment on the wedding vow, "Till death do us part"? This is a really good question. Again, can you comment on the wedding vow, "Till death do us part"? Yes, I'm going to make a comment, and the comment is this: don't say it. Now, if you've already said it, I understand. I know a lot of people practice, you do your vow, renew your vows, right? So after 10 years of marriage or 25 years or 50 years, whatever, you renew your vows. So my advice would be, if you've already said it, you've already said it, right? It's the past. But maybe when you renew your vows, or if you're planning to get married sometime soon, my advice would be to write your own vows. Don't say that, because all you're doing is speaking it into existence. Why would you want to speak your death into existence? Especially on a beautiful day like marriage, right? You found your soulmate, you want to be happy forever, and you're talking about death, right? Oh my God, I can't think of anything worse on a happy day like that to be talking about. So don't speak it into existence. Don't say it. If you've already said it, renew your vows. There's a perfect opportunity, right? We're going to write our own vows and get that out of there, and it's going to be a happier day. So there's that. Now this is the last question I got, and it's a great one. It reads, Beto, when will you be bringing back the twins, William and Bill? Also, and they put Dollar Bill because Bill has a name and it's Dollar Bill. So when will you be bringing back the twins, William and Dollar Bill, aka Guillermo and Memo? So this is actually a relative of mine who lives in South Texas who wrote this. They like to call William and Bill Guillermo and Memo for another appearance, and I'm going to do it today. So Guillermo and Memo, or William and Dollar Bill, actually appeared on episode 20. So it was 2 months ago of my Sunday Weekly Revival, and it was a big hit, and a lot of people followed up and said, Beto, I never really totally got it before, but after, you brought up William and Dollar Bill, I get it now, right? I get it. Matter of fact, one of my aunts, called me right away. She's like, I get it, I finally get it. So it was really exciting for her, and a lot of other people mentioned that too, that they really enjoyed it. So, but for that episode, I used 2 actual dollar bills. Today I'm going to use some claymation. I actually got some claymation, so I'm taking it a step up, improving things here. So, but what I want to do right now is give some backstory. Right? Let's take a few minutes, and let's talk about who William and Dollar Bill are. Give the backstory. So, William and Dollar Bill, right? Bill, but people like to call him Dollar Bill. William and Dollar Bill, also known, right, as my cousin in South Texas, make sure to remind me, also known as Guillermo and Memo. And they're known as Guillermo and Memo because they have a Mexican grandmother. They used to spend, when they were kids, they used to spend their summers down in Mexico, and they play soccer with their cousins in Guadalajara. But anyhow, and obviously for the summers, they're always Guillermo and Memo, and sometimes during the year as well. But William and Dollar Bill are from the great state. They hail from the great state of Ohio, so they're from Middle America. Both William and Bill excelled in sports and academics in high school. So they're scholar athletes in high school. They did good in school, and with the books, and in sports, in the fields and whatnot, in the play fields. Anyhow, they both ended up going to university, and William decided to get his MBA. So he got his MBA, and then he ended up moving to New York. He got a job offer and moved to New York City. He pursued a career in high finance on Wall Street. That's what William did. Bill, right, Dollar Bill, as soon as he finished his undergrad degree, he wanted to go to work. He got his undergrad degree in computer science. And he ended up getting a job right away, right after he finished his undergrad, moved out to California, NorCal, to Silicon Valley, and got a job out in Silicon Valley. William devoted himself to his career there in New York City and Manhattan, high finance. He worked those long hours and, networked with the right people, and he became an executive, right? He's rolling in the dough now, right? He's making big bucks. However, William ends up spending much of his free time. He felt entitled is what happened, right? He's working hard, making all this money, delayed marriage, right? Delayed having kids. Now he's got, the kids and the wife and everything. He's got the family. But he feels entitled to his free time, right? He spent all this time working and providing and whatnot and, investing. And he feels entitled to his free time. So he ends up getting a boat, a yacht, small yacht, big boat, whatever you want to call it, and spends a lot of his time with his boat and his yacht. And as a result, his not only his wife, but his children, he's got 3 of them, start to feel neglected, right? Because he's not involved, right? The marriage starts to lack intimacy, right? There's a lack of intimacy there. His wife actually calls the boat his mistress, right? That's the mistress. The boat's the big boat, small yacht, that's the mistress. She's feeling neglected. He's not showing up for the children's theater performances, right? The recitals, the Boy Scouts, the ballet. He's just not showing up for those events, right? Because he's spending all his time with his free time with his boat. So things aren't good, right? Things aren't good in the household. Now, Dollar Bill. What's going on in California? What's going on in Silicon Valley with Dollar Bill? Well, Dollar Bill, he came into Silicon Valley, did really well at the beginning, and then he took a step up. He moved into that entry-level management level, right? That junior management. But he ended up not moving past junior management, entry-level management. He just stayed there, right? Just went up one level, and that was it. But it was conscious. It was a conscious decision because Dollar Bill didn't wait, right? He didn't wait to have children, not that long anyhow. He started having a family and had several children. And he wanted to spend time with his kids, right? He wanted to coach Little League, right? He wanted to be there at the recitals. He wanted to be involved, right? The parent-teacher conferences. And he knew if he moved up to high on that ladder, that corporate ladder, that it would take away from his opportunity to spend that quality time and quantity time with his children. But unfortunately, despite all of this, Dollar Bill ends up going through a divorce. He goes through a divorce. His wife leaves him, and she ends up taking the kids. They move back to Ohio, where they're originally from, and Dollar Bill's devastated, right? Going back to William. So what's going on with William? We know Dollar Bill's devastated. His kids are back in Ohio. He's in California. Well, William, about the same time, William falls ill, right? The twin brother falls ill. So Dollar Bill is emotionally down. William's physically down. Midlife, right? He's top of his career. He falls ill, and he begins to regret the time that he didn't spend with his family, the time he devoted to his boat, his big boat, small yacht. And it comes to the point where he becomes so ill that he can't work anymore. Meanwhile, Dollar Bill is in California, and William's out here in New York, and he's depressed. Dollar Bill's over here in California, and he's depressed. But then Dollar Bill, he finds daily divinity coaching, right? He's online, and he's on social media. He's looking for answers, and he finds daily divinity coaching, right? And he starts reading these posts, right? And it starts getting into his mind and watching these shows, Sunday Weekly Revival, My Monthly Mailbag. Starts asking questions, right? Submitting scientific prayer requests, right? He gets his 45 minutes of free divinity coaching. So even though he's down emotionally, there's something there, right? There's something there that's going to start bringing him up. So I'm going to go ahead and bring out William and Dollar Bill now. We're going to start with William. So this is William. This is the claymation of William, right? So William's out there, right? He's making it happen. He's in New York City. He's on Wall Street, high finance, right? Top of his game. Got a small boat, right? Or a big boat, small yacht, right? Making things happen on Wall Street. He's making it happen, bringing in the big bucks, right? But, as he falls sick, guess what happens? He starts drooping, right? He's falling sick. He's not feeling well, right? And all of a sudden he can't work. So he's having pains in other places, right? His stomach starts hurting really bad. So now he's falling ill in other places, and he's coming down, right? He's coming down. And the more he regrets the time he didn't spend with his family and providing unconditional love to his children and wife, the more down, right? The more down William gets, right? And meanwhile, Dollar Bill, right, his twin brother who loves him, right? They grew up together, spent summers in Mexico, right? Playing soccer in Guadalajara with the cousins and everything, and went to high school and grade school together. Dollar Bill's, getting encouraged, right? He's watching Sunday Weekly Revival, right? He's reading daily divinity coaching. He's reaching out to his brother, and he's saying, we can turn things around. You can turn things around. You're middle-aged. Life is long. You have a lot of time ahead of you. But William don't want to hear it, right? William don't want to hear it, and he ends up in skilled nursing facility. His wife ends up filing for divorce. His kids aren't really seeing him anymore. He just feels really lonely, and even though his brother's still calling and writing and whatnot, he's just resigned. He's just resigned to go ahead and give up the ghost and just pass on. And so he just passes on. He just leaves us. Meanwhile, right? We got Dollar Bill, right? We got Dollar Bill, and Dollar Bill's down, right? We know that. He's emotionally down. Look at him. He's hunched over. He's just down. Look how sad he looks, right? He's down. he's there in Silicon Valley, right, in California. You know, his wife left, right? You know, filed for divorce, took the kids to Ohio, right? And he's down. His life is his kids, right? That's his life, and he don't know what to do. But he's getting that daily divinity coaching, right? He's getting that Sunday weekly revival. He's starting to get pumped up a little bit. And he decides, you know what? It's not worth it. Yeah, I'm here in Silicon Valley, right? I'm in the middle of it. I'm in the thick of high tech. But it's just not worth it without having that time with my kids. So he makes a bold decision. He quits his job and he moves back to Ohio. He ends up taking an entry-level job in computer science. But guess what? A miracle happens. He gets 50-50 custody of his kids, right? The judge sees favor in him, right? And says, no, this is a good man. You know, he should have that time with his kids. He moved all the way out here, right? Back to Ohio from Silicon Valley. So he's feeling better, right? He starts, you know, the hunch starts to go away, right? He starts feeling better. His stomach starts feeling better, right? He can start eating better foods and whatnot. He starts spending more and more time with his kids, right? Right? You know, his new Boy Scout group, right, that he's running. It's not California anymore, but, you know, his kid's actually going for Eagle Scout, right? He's feeling better about that. His daughter with the recitals, right? She's in ballet. She's performing really well. She's in a high school with a performing arts high school. He's feeling better. He's feeling better. Starting to make friends, right? Find somebody. He actually finds a girlfriend, right? It becomes his fiance, right? They get engaged, and she's watching Sunday Weekly Revival and My Monthly Mailbag and reading the posts, right? And now he's actually gotten taller. Look at him. He actually grew. Right? He was 5'10", he's 6 feet now, he's feeling taller than life, the hunch is gone, right? He starts talking about how life is long, he's got all this unconditional love, right? Ends up getting married, right? His family's getting bigger because his new wife has a child too, so his family's getting bigger, there's more activities that they do with more children, you know, and the years go on, and then he gets a little sad, right? When his brother passes away, right? His brother doesn't make it past midlife, but then he comes back, right? He's feeling stronger and getting taller and feeling stronger. You know, the years go by, right? He makes it past 80, right? The average age, the average lifespan of the average human, right? And he hits 100, right? He's feeling strong, right? He's activating that stardust. He's running. He's playing basketball at the Y, right? With the 20-year-old kids, right? 25-year-old, 30-year-old kids. He's now 150 years old. Now he's 200, 500, 800, right? 10 times the lifespan of the average human. He's manifesting immortality. He's making it happen. He's living an abundant life with righteous intention. And that's Dollar Bill. So that's the story of the two twins, Dollar Bill, right? And William. So also known as Guillermo and Memo. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for the question. I'm going to go ahead and end now, but I'm very grateful to you all for your support. Just my heart filled with gratitude for this medium that I'm able to come and talk, and that you respond and watch my live shows and my recordings. My heart is filled with gratitude. It's an honor and a privilege, and also humbles me. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, but before I do want to say all the blessings to you and yours for this new year, right? Happy New Year 2021. May it just be full of blessings upon your life. And if you didn't get a chance to submit a question for this show, for this My Monthly Mailbag, please send it if you have one via IM or DM, text or call if you have my phone number. You can also send it via my website. There's an order form on dailydivinitycoach.com, and I'll address it next month for My Monthly Mailbag number 4. And on Wednesday, I'll be announcing the title for the next Sunday Weekly Revival. I'll be back here every Sunday. I'm here every Sunday starting at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time where I am in Boston. 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time where I used to live in California. Here on Facebook Live. And 30 minutes before that, I'm on at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday on Instagram Live. So I'm going to go ahead and put on my reading glasses, turn this off. But again, thank you so much for joining, for watching, and may you have a blessed 2021. Bye-bye.